Week 9, Day 2. I can't believe we're 9 weeks in already. Some of the teams are playing the last time against each other.
Yeah,
okay,
let's see. 2 more games this week, and then only Week 10 and 11 of the North American.
You know, Ackerman might not actually know this matchup either, which could be positive.
So these guys are really needing to refine their play styles before we go into this, because it will be a very, very competitive World Championship, and both these guys are in pole position to make it there if they continue their play that they have showcased throughout this.
So Gragas. Oh, let me remove this timer because I don't need it anymore.
Not gonna get any deep.
I'm dropping this timer if you want. The other timer is in-game League of Legends
We're gonna get standard lanes, however, but everybody give each other a little bit.
I'll speak a little bit more about this matchup. So, Gragas, in every sense, has always been about losing the early game, pretty much. Just for the most part, he's supposed to lose the early game. So he's supposed to be down in CS. He's supposed to just,
as far as running away from him after you've been counter jungling,
be down. Even before Gragas was changed.
And Rengar can chase quite
so like when he was the mid laner,
he's almost at home.
If you catch him charging his ferocity,
he was supposed to lose lane.
Yeah.
And you would always see Gragas players get behind early game, and then they would come back.
Very nice.
And the reason is Gragas needs to push the lane so he doesn't get harassed under tower.
Is there for Seraph.
But as levels progress, Gragas can start one-shotting the back line, and he can CS really easy.
Because most teams have been finding when you do focus Seraph,
and
CLG
Gragas'
runs
sustain gets better as he levels up.
With all the focus you put in that top lane. See how they decide to do it this time. He's pumping his cast. He's trying to get ready
got
for
barrel
drinks.
level 1, so he knows what he's doing somewhat.
If he was trying the bush trap, I don't think it was going to work.
He was actually hoping, I think, that Ackerman was hoping to pull for No Name, and he was trying to get forward position, because the big thing that Nidalee players want to do at level 1 is just get the mark onto someone and chase them down. Nidalee is so
I don't think Ackerman knows how to play this matchup, I'll be honest.
On them. And she really just has no control at level 1.
He has no idea what he's doing.
It would have been much easier to stop Ackerman in lane.
Bottom lane, good trade for double lift and Afro.
And they go hard. Afro move and double lift, starting up the rush hour very
Seraph
early.
can win this lane! I
Wall.
believe! If that was
Silly
Chunky
first.
Fresh, the Soloki Gragas, there's no way Seraph could win.
Oh, really? What great
level
harass.
2.
It's going to be a bit of 100 damage coming off of that level of E on Vasily.
That's the biggest thing that Tristana brings early in the lane. It's one of the larger reasons, I think, for her resurgence. Is we talk all the time about
I'm very happy right now.
remarkable Tristana late game and how the AD carry itemization favors her now for auto attackers. That stuff is true, but also with people not building as much lifesteal and having lower access to it, we talk about how sustain is so much more prominent. Well, so is sticking harass in quick.
You're supposed to push the lane as Gragas, so this doesn't happen.
Trade potential in the early game of all the AD carries. So what the Tristanas have been doing in the LCS is just bullying the lane early, so they're so far ahead that their mid-game dip doesn't matter.
It's something that sticks in the game. It's got burns, bleeds, and whatever we've brought to Draven or Twitch and his poison have always been brought down because that is such a strong factor to have.
Okay,
if you can bring it back on that E and still have it now, like you said, without the lifesteal, it's definitely going to pay dividends in the end. We're going to get a quick pause up here.
So what is Gragas supposed to do in that matchup?
Continues.
Basically, what Gragas is supposed to do is he's supposed to stay away from the top rush, and he's supposed to stay in the middle of the lane, near like the little area, basically where you get ganked from, and you just push the wave. Like, what can Nidalee do? If you get the push on Nidalee, she can only auto attack. So imagine a big Gragas barrel that's had its time to ferment. It'll do like 600 damage at level 1 to the creep wave. Meanwhile, Nidalee is like,
there was also a boot start
for 80 damage. So you cannot control the wave as Nidalee. Gragas has the control on the wave.
Early game gank presence from Lee Sin.
And what that does is it lets Gragas dictate the lane.
HotShot does play a gold card to keep Link away
and it
from
makes
the minion wave.
It makes Gragas have the ability to walk up and melee the creeps because Nidalee's always concerned about pushing, like controlling the wave.
Earlier about Ezreal with TF, things that
she always has to auto attack to trim the wave because you've done 600 damage to the creep wave,
Sonic waves,
and it becomes like this
LMQ with a lot of options. in their engagement.
This matchup that's
CLG,
like
not
kind
really
of unwinnable by
Nidalee.
Nidalee.
Gonna have to see something
until
amazing on
later
that
on. Nidalee can win later on.
No Name's definitely not gonna slow down.
Honestly, every time Rengar gets picked in the North American LCS, it seems like it doesn't work.
Right.
We keep seeing this,
That's
but
true.
the reason he is being picked so much is because his ganks at level 6 are
I think Nidalee can beat Gragas top lane.
Pretty much unavoidable if executed properly, and that's going to be the windows
it's extremely
that CLG
hard
needs to
win
to try and
versus Gragas top lane when the enemy team has the Lee Sin
if they can get the good wombo of the Rengar ult into the command shockwave.
If Seraph can pull this off, he's a god.
Other options,
he's a living god.
That's whether Xiaowei Xiao.
He's the Nidalee
for it because he's always
the cat
ready.
god.
Getting a little bit of distance damage to
Link getting some good pressure on mid. I like it. That's good.
How Link is focusing that lane.
Bot
he is
lane
going to level that
by
W
CS
up more than his Q and try and keep Link or Xiaowei Xiao pushed back.
Uncharacteristic.
Now in the bottom lane, double lift and out for Moog, getting a little bit of aggression on as Wave is pushing in their favor. They try to
never
push
mind.
this,
Vasily missing some CS
too. So maybe they will be going to
they're even.
It goes unnoticed.
What I meant by losing by CS, I mean like 1 or 2.
Vasily last hit of the turret there, especially with Trist.
If Vasily didn't miss
really
1 CS, he'd be up 1
every
CS.
single minion.
Wow.
One of the big knocks on Tristano in the past was because of explosive shot.
I'm a genius.
It was difficult or impossible to get every CS in the game. Nothing is actually impossible, and at that point, they traded the CS, hit enough of them low that when the explosive shot did proc, it would kill all of them. And they just got every last one of them.
It's a good mentality, Jab. I like it. That's why we won Doombots.
But
that's why.
He ended up blocking creep damage, which is essentially
even lane
the same thing.
in mid, and also lane we're
he got the shield. Nice. Good job, Link. Link's playing hot. It's playing good.
Passive summoner spells in that mid lane today for safety. Not for Link this time. CLG trying to make an impact in the early game. Looks like Dexter may try to get that first move. Actually, it's the control, making sure No Name isn't trying to harass.
An incredibly defensive early pink ward. Right there. That will hopefully pay
I don't
dividends
agree.
Later on.
I don't agree with that pink ward.
Somewhat the path that Xiaowei Xiao could take if he's looking to gank bottom.
Because
so getting that ward out there really early.
The Wraiths are more of a critical spot to take control of, in my opinion.
Towards that side because that's where they have the work.
Oh boy!
Right now he's kind of in the middle of the lane.
It's going to take a lot of damage here.
He's going to be forced to flash. No, peace of mind keeps him safe. Very well played.
And I'm fully convinced now that Xiaowei Xiao is pulling those red cards intentionally because he does that almost every time early on in the game. You notice the 2.5 second slow made it easier for him to get in range. And it provided more damage from the card as well, so.
Interesting.
TS out there want to be like Xiaowei Xiao.
Link took a lot of damage, so he's calling.
What a kill on the minions! They played that perfectly, catching double lift out. He thought he had a shield of safety there. And Vasily gets some extra damage on board going deep.
Too. Double's flash is down, which is really bad. CF has pressure at
bottom lane.
Farm-wise, though, honestly, Double Lift and Nafamu are kind of holding their own. Braum is not known for his early game superiority. They're just trying to withstand the early game of Tristana and Thresh. So far, they're doing it quite well if you look at the CS numbers. Just have to make sure.
Oh wait, I forgot. Braum has Afro and Double Lift are actually technically winning in CS.
Double Lift and
Braum has taken
happy
6
at the 75% mark here, just in front of the turret.
Whereas Moore went for
farm it out. Safe from No Name, who just wasted a little bit of time in the bottom. 30-31 though. Dexter's gone back to pick up that Madrid, so he'll be clearing through the jungle.
But they did lose the all-important flash.
Come out. Some action.
That's super
important.
Definitely
has a good gank area for the bottom lane, but
Double Lift did get cleanse though, which is really nice. Cleanse is really nice.
Even if he shares this
mid lane, Link is up 10 CS. Good.
This will be a pretty
Dexter 6. Let's see. It's all about if he can land those E's.
Hold on.
Holding.
Sorry. All right, so the
Seraph goes for
we saw there on
challenge.
Dexter were persistent buffs. He doesn't actually have them. That was a small bit of a bug. For a second, I thought he stole the blue or something.
Chalice is an okay item.
He's level 6 with no buffs.
But it doesn't allow you to...
Just off the pause. Probably disappear next time he grabs him up. Looking at that top lane, we've been talking a little about Seraph, who's not seen a lot of aggression this game. Usually by now he's had a few...
it doesn't give you
invites up to the top
potential
lane.
to kill Gragas. It just...
looks like he'll be built.
I don't know. Lets you farm easy. Lets you sustain in the lane.
A bit more passive himself. They haven't really been able to execute too much, at least on the side of Dexter. Figured you'd be kind of in Rengar's face
you get
a little
Chalice
bit
or you
more
get
trying to prevent that 6. But they're all right with him just farming, staying off the map so far.
Yeah, I'm a little bit underwhelmed by No Name's recent thus
Shell's
far.
good. Shell's good.
A lot of that does have to do with the general positioning of the lanes. They did pressure Link a little bit. Xiao has escaped the early laning phase against Ori as Twisted Fate, which was probably the goal. Orianna is arguably one of, if not the best laners in the hands of an incredibly skilled player. That's why every time around Worlds, you see Orianna just kind of win lane against everyone.
She offers so much.
So Seraph has his TP. He actually saved it. Gragas did not save his TP, and Seraph is still up in CS.
Will get their blue, the junglers back for their red.
Whoa, Gragas went Sheen? What the
Dexter at full
What is he doing?
Doesn't look like he has anywhere to use this. Everybody's back and buying for the moment.
Well, Sheen's actually a decent buy versus someone that goes Chalice.
He still gets the CS nonetheless.
Nice ball
but
placement.
He's not going ROA, which is really questionable.
Alright, so the first Rengar gank is going to tell us a lot about this game and
Yeah,
whether or not it
we
can
need
be
this
countered.
Rengar
That's
gank.
another big thing. If Link doesn't have pressure in the mid lane on Xiao, a Rengar gank in the bottom lane could turn ugly very quickly. Especially once Ackerman's teleport is back up on Gragas.
So you can see Xiao
Gragas teleporting in is much more threatening than a Nidalee teleporting in because of the immediate damage he can provide.
No, this is no good. He can't get top lane out there.
Stalking in.
Destiny.
No. Bad TP. Or bad ult
Wow,
TP.
they just noticed.
That was
want to
really
use
bad.
it. I thought he was
There
going
was
to come
no
down.
vision that happened there, but they recognized after going double lift, moved a little bit forward, and now the ultimate is spent by Dexter.
Yep.
Time for no one to try his hand.
Oh, double lift. No.
Whoa! Approaching to the bottom lane.
Oh,
Vasili's
nice.
Jump gets stopped left with the Glacial Fissure. Double lift gets exhausted immediately and dropped out. Bringing exhaust to the party was the upper hand. Beautiful play by LMQ.
That was so good right there by LMQ, specifically No Name. After they communicated all this for sure. They knew that Rengar had probably backed off from the gank. And yes, the Glacial Fissure stopped Vasili,
and they got
but they were still in range, and No Name still got a spectacular kick, followed by the timely hook of more. They get the kills and the dragon afterwards.
Going good.
But Riv, specifically, from a team's mindset, it happens all the time.
Oh, nice. Philip got a free kill on more there.
Double lift gets one back.
That means that it's going to be a free push for double lift.
But really, I do want to talk about this for a second. The mindset of a team when they have a jungler there that's about to gank for you is incredible.
It's not good
because
either.
They feel safe because they just have the jungler there, so they don't expect the gank to come.
No ward.
Basically, well, he basically knew they just done Dragon. He'd probably seen the ward at the end of the river, so he walked by at low health, and a lot of people walk into that tri-brush before recalling. So that was a calculated move just based on player tendencies that double lift shot that rocket.
Good. Yeah, they got the tower.
And they're going to get the turret.
Nice influx of gold right there for him as he actually walked out of
good.
lane.
Very,
about
very
0 cash, now has another 840, so he can go back, get that critical cloak, and start putting out some big damage if he wants to. Seeing the distortion boots very quickly as a second item, picked up instantly by Xiao in the mid.
You see those distortion rush?
Link still looking to get something. Almost wanted to kill there for his first back, or second back rather, to complete his first item.
I think
wanted a little extra gold to
you
do
just
it,
have to pressure top lane.
Because Xiao is actually back doing his own window shopping. This is Seraph in the top lane. Wow! Level on that W, bringing out the damage. Seraph finding himself in a very bad situation. Can he mark Ackerman? Both the damage down to the same. This is going to be the help from Xiao. Is he in range? He's just out of range. No! Right there. They go for the melee attacks after that high five between Ackerman and Xiao in the end.
Outside of the Twisted Fate right there, a Sheen first versus a Phage first from Seraph. So a big difference in trading at that point. And again, LMQ chose to gank top lane. So they are targeting Seraph. Whether or not CLG can capitalize on that from the bottom lane could ultimately decide this game. Something we just saw, Dexter had another Rengar ultimate burned bottom lane that did not yield results. And that opens them up to a counterattack because LMQ knows it's down.
He needs to go Merc
already
treads
trying
early.
to ward and get in the face of CLG. 13 minutes in the Lich.
If you don't have early Merc treads versus Gragas,
huge spike for that lane. You already saw him almost 1v1 Seraph, so the next trade in damage
also helps with
TF very much in his favor. Pink ward, so he can control the top lane is LMQ. Trying to make some moves now. 3-1 here as we start to get the fire started.
You're supposed to go Merc Treads and Cutlass first.
He is starting to fall behind the 1-0-1 of No Name. He's getting the teams going. Ackerman trying to make a play here with the rest of the team. He just got something out of top lane. Why not try to get more? Knowing they're on a pink ward. However, we're going to thwart that.
It's not that bad. I mean, he lost his flash.
Very poised right now.
Yeah.
You look at the way their team composition works. The Gragas and Tristana, strong early laners. Ackerman held against Seraph.
Ackerman's
No Name used his early jungle pressure to help Xiao Xiao.
Ah, these guys are both bad at the matchup.
So really, the way they manage their resources is just perfect so far.
Oh my gosh.
And a slippery Link in the mid lane.
Just the patience and knowledge of how LMQ
watching this is hilarious.
All of their games.
Oh god.
Very nicely done. A lot of patience involved in it as well. They're not just blowing flashes or summoner spells.
Okay, so what do we need?
They're making their opponents do that. 14.5 minutes in, LMQ starts to put a lot of their focus on the mid lane. Vasily with that rapid fire starting to be charged up. There's they get the jump onto more. Fast Fingers gets the rest of the team out. And
okay, good. Wow. Another one from Double Lift.
Capitalizes on a kill of Moore. And he
I didn't know what to say there because I was like, please kill him. You at least need to kill the support.
Helping to get back
and Double Lift with the Glory Rocket.
Kill with the Orianna Rengar ult combo. They need to make sure they are capitalizing on those. Another great shot from Double Lift as well. Second kill just from his Super Mega Death Rocket. Once again, those double buffs you see on Dexter are a particle bug. He does not have double buffs right now, just so we're completely clear. So his ultimate is on a regular cooldown, but he is building cooldown reduction, trying to get as many of those ultimates out as possible.
Really like Ackerman's play style in this lane up top. Rushing the Lich Bane, knowing he can keep up with the slow of his Qs and harassing Seraph so much. It's only the kill so far. Seraph has been able to withstand all of these attacks and keep himself healed up at 140 to 132 in CS. But it's a split push game these guys are
I also think TP is overrated. You don't need TP on Nidalee. Seraph hasn't used it once the whole game.
Talisman of Ascension.
Because Nidalee has the mobility to get back to lane and just as fast.
So
you can actually afford to go Ignite versus Gragas. And Gragas can't because he just doesn't run to
rush
lane
by
as fast.
both AD carries. Expected from Double Lift on Jinx. Vasily has done this on Trist, but most people have trended towards the static shift, just the wave clear.
We're dragging up
Vasily
in 30
really
seconds. CLG really needs to get control going on.
As quickly as possible to reach hyper carry status.
Nidalee needs to Nidalee needs that tower really badly.
All that well.
Seraph needs to take this tower.
Match, especially with Dexter looking to go the brutalizer route.
You have to avoid this team fight. You're just way too weak compared to Gragas.
To maintain some
Gragas is just going to go for the dragon, secure it, and then TP top. Seraph needs to take this tower right now.
Them. Great ward by No Name.
No! No! Do not go to that team fight. Please, for the love of God.
Right, now we'll place wards here. These ones are harder to clear.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Over by the pink ward again.
But with Dragon being up and Seraph needing to use his teleport immediately, CLG just doesn't seem to have the vision control. LMQ rushing down this Dragon as quickly as possible. They get it. Fight on.
Oh, Vasily. He goes down. Xiao finds himself in a pretty sore position, and he's forced to ghost out of that after Destiny right into the fight. And a very nice job by LMQ to be there
took top tower
ahead of time. Getting LMQ
it would have been just
flash.
Dexter making up for lost time, getting a couple good Rengar ultimates off here.
Yeah, Dexter,
did not stop the
Dexter
Dragon,
and
but
Link
they do
are
get a
doing
kill
really
on
well
a very
with these
important target. And Twisted Fate is also not here to wave clear.
These combos.
Gragas is though. Let's see how much turret they can get.
Very nice job. Double lifting, great positioning on the right side of that turret. Left side, if you're looking from LMQs, he can give himself an exit. And if he gets hit by the cast there, blown to safety.
Pauses happen at the damnedest times, Riv.
Yeah, they can.
Occasionally.
That's why it's a pause. So we'll see this one on LMQ's side. That will be Vasily. We'll see if something happened from that last altercation as he's spawning back onto the map. Maybe something wasn't right. So with that, LMQ does grab the Dragon. A little bit more gold in their favor. A 3,000 gold lead, and we're tied at 3-3 on kills here.
Yeah, but we can take a look at that last fight
Absolutely.
while we're sitting on this pause. And watch how Dexter has the ball. thing is, he gets the root onto Vasily as well, so he had no chance of reacting. Xiao Xiao did come in afterwards, but it was to no avail because they're not going to be able to close onto Seraph. That was the kill that propelled CLG.
The timer will not. I can't put the timer back up because there is no
bola from Rengar. It's something that's scary. You see Rengar sometimes and then not. It's almost like you don't see him enough to understand the range of the bola or how to dodge it just right. It's a very deceiving length skill shot.
I do want to touch on the gold right here. Seldom do we notice how much gold Twisted Fate gets from his loaded dice passive, which gives him extra gold when he last hits
Holy
baller. 792 from his loaded dice passive, as well as the objective control that LMQ has. Puts him in a 1,600 gold advantage.
That's insane.
Over Link's Orianna, which could turn the tides pretty quick. He is farming at an impeccable rate right now. 17.5 minutes in almost
700 gold?
Crazy.
That's two
like
fucking kills.
It obviously makes plays because he's going to be bigger. He's going to be better in fights. But that's his Zanya's faster. That's playmaking that the team can execute on. And it's something that he is not afraid to do. Even if he dies while he's doing it, usually the team can pick back up because they're all so on the same page that errors really don't affect their fight capabilities.
And as we progress this game more towards the late game, CLG is actually the ones with the impetus to create action. Gragas and Twisted Fate are really,
so how
really
would you
good
punish
at
this?
I think one of the things that is creating Gragas as a premier top laner, more so than just his strong lane early in the game, is his ability to wave clear through the mid and late game. But we're in the middle of a fight!
Yeah, starting back up indeed. They did just take down the turret, so there was a bit of time that passed before this fight began. The turret went down and LMQ tried to initiate this.
Nice there, good cleanup from the back.
Oh
yeah!
Doublets gets another one, and he's still excited. They're going to have to get out of this one so he does not get any more presence off of that fight.
Speaking of playmaking right there, it was a great heel bait by Aphromoo to get No Name to take his Sonic Wave into the fray and started the assault from CLG. Plus, now they have some free time on the turrets.
Good job, guys. That was really good.
To defend. Even gold.
Huge influx coming in there from Counterlogic Gaming in kills, but mainly for doublets. He's going to be able to come back quite strong after that. Cleanse comes up big for him.
Okay, let's see what happens.
Yeah, big thing right there. Vasily is here.
Vasily's here.
I guarantee you, but he's in the base, so it's not that big a deal. Aphromoo takes most of the damage during his Unbreakable Shield, so it doesn't burst him out. And then with the Q landed, Aphro's like, take it. Aphro actually brought heal this time because CLG likes to have a heal on the support.
Yep.
They trapped No Name in the fray. Seraph is distracting the other three. Doublelift picks up the pieces. 3-1-2 now.
It'll be good for him. They're sharing across the board. One kill for pretty much everybody except for Aphromoo. He's being a good support. 0-1-5. No Name.
Rengar.
Putting down a ward can be very scary. Dexter goes for it. That's going to be the...
Oh!
Blink, and now it starts to come in.
Rengar's so
big. It took CLG a few tries to realize that maybe we should use Rengar with Orianna, because that's when we're going to be getting the kills. The previous ganks did not have that same synergy.
Like one and the other.
You can see the lethality of it all, because Dexter
Rengar's so scary.
No Name right there with the help of Link's Shockwave.
Something that LMQ is really going to have to consider. A few more wards to be placed out, or at least not warding alone with the potential of
really
taken down that
ward?
fast. CLG wants to gain ground. They lost
something.
They
don't even want to waste time.
They want to get, or they gained something there, so now they want more.
I think Aphro just saved some of those minions from dying with his Unbreakable Shield. But I could be wrong right there. I'm pretty sure he blocked a lot of damage. If so, that allowed them to take that turret much more easily.
What are you guys doing?
Breaking down the turret's defenses, having minions. Good plays. Very smart. Clear calls coming from CLG.
Clear calls, good plays coming out very, very well right now. Look at this. They were down 2,000 gold. Now they're up 500.
Yeah.
And really looking to make the plays. Looks like Dexter's going to be going for a Ghost Blade. So they're really wanting to evaporate that
Ghost Blade? Really, Dexter?
With the lockdown.
Really?
Dexter wants to get a few hits in.
Oh my word.
Oh, really nice control from CLG there.
They want this fight. They really want to start a fight.
Honestly, with vision control of the Baron, They're not scared of going in. Think about it. Think of the fear CLG has instilled into LMQ up until this point.
No, double lift, dodge the fucking...
Fantastic pink board control.
If they lose this Baron by like 2 HP, I'm going to be fucking pissed.
Teleport, he's going to come in. Is it going to go down in favor of Team Solo Mid? Oh my god, it's stolen by No Name! They get the Baron! They shut down double lift! LMQ completely wipes out Counter Logic Gaming! Link does what he can in a valiant attempt to stay alive, but they ace CLG and grab Baron with the steal!
That is about the worst thing that can possibly happen to you as a team that is just gaining momentum. Not only did they get trapped in the Baron pit because LMQ collapsed on, the Baron was stolen away from right under their noses. An early game Baron too. LMQ just has complete control of the game. CLG tried too hard to make a play, and they just handed LMQ the game on a silver platter.
An instant 7,000 gold swing in favor of LMQ. What an amazing push to go for Baron. No Name coming up huge, grabbing that one for himself.
Vasily though,
whee! He's safe.
Whoa! Takes a ride.
Ackerman sucked in his gut on that one, gets past the rocket as it flies by. No continue on the initiation coming in from CLG, and now they have to be wondering.
I'm pretty sure that if double lift dodged, sidestepped, if double lift sidestepped the poison, they would have had enough damage to get this. Yep. If double lift sidestepped the Baron poison, we would have got the Baron.
Also helping.
Oh my fucking god!
When CLG got
that actually just happened.
As soon as Xiao revealed CLG with the Twisted Fate ultimate, they had to run. If it was a 50-minute Baron, maybe they could do it, because the Baron wouldn't have had them so low and so vulnerable. But a 20-minute Baron is remarkably dangerous to a team doing it. And that was just a big disaster there for CLG.
Seraph cannot win this.
Oh my word. Oh my word, no way! What a play! Ackerman just completely outplays Seraph. Wow!
And it just keeps going
the
down
dominoes.
The
we should have definitely banned the
for CLG. More kills for LMQ. Spectacular play from Ackerman, but then Link gets caught on a well, and guess what? It just keeps coming.
What is he doing? Oh, wait a minute! Oh my god, the home guard Ackerman comes in, and he wants to share a cup with double lift.
Deathcap right after his Lichbane as well. He is an unstoppable beast right now, and they still have this Baron buff. That's the crazy thing. They're about to take this inhibitor, no problem.
It's like the last fight didn't even end. They're keeping it going now onto the inhibitors. From the bottom lane to the mid lane, Ackerman somehow makes himself an omnipresent force and continues to pummel down members of CLG by himself.
Yeah. Well, we saw Dexter try and pull off this combo,
on this game,
but he jumped too far away and the ball snapped back to Link,
CLG
so they couldn't pull off the combo. And then since Seraph had already died, things that were bad became much worse. More
oh my gosh,
an unstoppable beast of death sentencing. And yeah, the teleport comes in afterwards from Ackerman.
Honestly, if they went all in on that Baron, they did go all in, but I think...
Look, you see how he body slammed through the wall to dodge the chompers? Man, fat man reflexes.
Nowhere is safe. Jeez.
Seraph trying to lay down some ground. They have to figure out what they can be, or where they can be safe, I should say, and how they can do it. So far, getting a few wards,
just needed like
CLG
200 damage.
is in damage control mode now after that huge lead by LMQ, now sitting 11,000. Wow, LMQ just completely turned down the afterburners.
Did they ever? To be fair, CLG gave it to him a little bit.
Yeah.
But LMQ is a team that is willing to pile in all at once.
Yeah.
There was no hesitation about fighting and stealing the Baron right there. It was like, yeah, they're doing it, let's go. They had full vision from Xiao's Twisted Fate, and then everyone knew exactly what to do when they got in there.
It's a little map control.
He wants minions.
Go ahead and clear out a turret for himself. So LMQ picking up some of the pieces and bringing it all to the front.
I think that was actually a decent Baron.
CLG's
I think that
very
misplays
strong
were
game.
just had.
LMQ making it to look 3-1, to go 3-1 against CLG here over the summer split.
And also, if they close this victory, which they most likely will, they have a 2-game lead on the entire North American LCS, heading into the final 6 games of the split.
It's been hard for any team to create a spread at the top. We've had 4-way ties this season.
Yeah. LMQ was in that 4-way tie for first just 2 weeks ago. Looking to be the lone survivors.
They're trying to defy what everybody said. Middle of the pack team, as the season would go on, they're keeping themselves right on the top of that podium, that's for sure.
Blasted Jeff for Dexter.
Good wants it. Jab. They get onto No Name. He can always safeguard it to a very easy, safe position. Vasily able to take down Seraph. That's the heal for the team that they're relying on. The summoner for Aphromoo still up, but this is not a bait situation like last time. It's going to be LMQ with a pedal to the metal now in inhibitor turrets.
That was so much damage onto Seraph as he was completely useless in that fight.
They have so much to think about.
Be a split pusher as well, but they are too far behind to even think about split pushing. This inhibitor turret looks indefensible.
Zhao just eating turret shots to the face like a boss. And it's the zap in, so that gives them continuous vision if they leave the base for a quick second. Link getting into position. No shockwave is up though, so he's got to be careful. It looks like they will know that LMQ has retreated for the time being. You can see right after the 20-minute mark, that increase. This is Baron.
That's the sharpest spike we have seen.
Yeah.
I would say this split. Now up 13,000 gold?
Yep, 13.
27 minutes in.
More than that, they got the...
After being slightly down at 20 minutes.
It would be a miraculous stop if they could put up a wall big enough to shut down LMQ right now. 40 seconds on Baron. Easily LMQs with what we've seen before. It hasn't been a plethora of items CLG's been putting in their inventory. They've been struggling since that Baron. It's LMQ that's finished their next core items. Doublelift picks up red buff. You can see the buddy system here, making sure they can stay safe. There's not even that many wards to keep them that safe on their side of the jungle. They're just doing what they can at this point.
And it's now all about just stopping the bleeding. It seems like CLG is completely done here. Baron is up, but the catch potential from LMQ is so high. Death sentences, Xiao porting in with a death cap and a Zhonya's. Not even needing a Void Staff yet because who's had time to build magic resist for CLG? Xiao is just so farmed. They're doing a bit of a split push now, but they could very easily play around another Baron. They may not need to, though.
No, inhibitors open in the mid lane and in the bottom. So much control from LMQ right now, playing a very methodical League of Legends matchup versus CLG.
Here comes Rengar.
Oh, wow. Whoa. Vasily. He needs to use the fast fingers. Both summoners to get out of that one alive. Oh! The sniper! Doublelift hits it. Can he get excited enough? The rest of the team is hit. Doublelift has put himself now in a 2v1 situation. Another hit. Triple kill for Doublelift. The quadra kill is right.
What?
Zap hits the backside of Ackerman. He is going to be going down. Tries to hit him. Oh my God! And he completely zeroes him out for the quadra kill retribution takedown.
I cannot believe Ackerman killed Doublelift right there. Will that be enough to stop the Baron? Because CLG just wiped out 4 members.
He had his trinket
ward
too.
This Baron, hands down. This could be a swing back in the game. If CLG comes back from this, it will be one of the most remarkable comebacks I've ever seen.
Vasily almost didn't even know what happened for a few seconds.
Well, it's the duration of that bola strike, right? He couldn't react because it comes from stealth for the most part.
Wow.
That was the start of it. And they had Xiao stunned. That was the second part. Couldn't even Zhonya's. Doesn't matter what your gold lead is if your 2 carries die before they can use spells.
That cleanse. That cleanse.
How much health does Doublelift have? Here, basically a full health bar. Ackerman says, you know what? Time to tango.
Jeez.
Good God. And then the red buff finished him off.
It's like a boomer. If you kill him, he just explodes on you. Oh.
What's going on here?
CLG is making sure they don't lose anything off of doing that. Obviously, it's going to be a push since LMQ has just prepped all of this nonsense they've been pushing down so far very well. CLG recuperating a little bit there. A fight they want does protect the inhibitor. That looks bad for LMQ. If they can keep hitting those ultimates, that's going to be very good. But I'm not guessing Vasily is going to be standing by himself like that again.
They're still down 10K.
LMQ is going to have to be a bit more cautious.
Yeah.
Due to the threat of Rengar Orianna. They need to itemize some magic resistance. You can see the McHale's on more now. He needs to be very fast-fingered with that.
Yeah.
If someone gets hit with an empowered bola. It's that 1.75 second root that Dexter can throw down on someone.
And if you're getting hit with that, you're getting hit with shockwave. So
absolutely.
It's even longer. consider your options there.
And oftentimes, even if you did kills, the shockwave's still going to hit you,
yeah.
and the damage is going to come out. It's just a matter of how long Rengar is going to be wailing on you while you're locked in.
You don't usually have very long if that's happening. It's usually a few swipes, and your life is a bright light at the end of the tunnel. 8-4 in turrets.
We should have definitely banned the HotShot in
on the map for Counterlogic
Basically,
Gaming.
kick my brother in the
turrets in a top, but 2 inhibitors are open. LMQ can do whatever they want whenever they want to create that pressure.
With the Baron buff from CLG, it really feels like this is going to curtail the LMQ aggression for quite some time.
You have to fight right now, I think.
As long as CLG can stick together for the most part and not get caught by Twisted Fate ultimates, they would be able to stall. But CLG this whole game has kind of had one motto, and it's let's make plays. They had that 27-minute loss to EG yesterday, which quite honestly, if it were a different team, they would have lost in 45 minutes or so.
Right.
CLG tries to force fights where they're behind in games because of the chance that they come back in the game.
Yep.
CLG was forcing 15,000 gold down without inhibitor turrets, and they get double lift to quadra kill. Yep. Because their play style and their motto as a team, they're one of the only teams in the North American LCS that can make plays like this and is willing to try.
Yep.
So it just shows you that even though they're still down a large margin, because they have a Baron, they're not going to sit around and farm. They're going to try and make a play.
Oh, and the composition breeds that mentality right here with the Rengar being able to get in with the Shockwave. It's already been used once, and CLG being 12,000 gold down, pressuring mid.
Seraph is taking an outer turret, but Ackerman is taking an inhibitor turret, and a Lichbane Grogs with that much AP makes pretty short work of turrets. Seraph's got to get back, but GF might try to interrupt it.
CLG very much out of place. The reason that they went down to EG yesterday, or one of the main reasons, was coverage on the map, focusing on too much when they were actually losing even more. Now Ackerman getting top turret, and they're about to take a second outer.
Gold-wise, it's a very close to even trade, but once again, the
position
exposed inhibitors against LMQ means the next time CLG loses a fight, the game is over.
This is definitely LMQ singing a different tune. The previous matchups are in favor of 2 to LMQ, 1 to CLG, but CLG has always taken the first inhibitor. They've always been the first to initiate this game, never on the back foot.
It's actually kind of interesting. When we look at these teams as a whole, we always talk about LMQ just shooting and shooting and taking all the shots. But CLG gets extremely aggressive when they play against LMQ, almost like they're trying to preempt whatever LMQ is doing next. It's gotten them into trouble. If we actually think about the first LMQ game, what happened? CLG tried to do Baron, Xiao came with Yasuo.
Oh my god.
Got like a triple kill.
Yep.
Same thing happened this game, except he was on Twisted Fate. So definitely some learning to do for CLG against LMQ, regardless of the eventual outcome. CLG is now trying to play in spite of their mistake and still win.
Really not a team of LMQ is that you can call their bluff. They're going to walk up to every fight, dukes up. I think CLG realizes that now, and they're in the avoidance strategy of split pushing. Ackerman easily able to clear out top lane, not going tank Gragas this game. Full AP, strong power with the Lichbane first buy, and he has been able to wreak havoc in that top lane. We keep looking at Nidalee as a champion coming back, and so far in the games, she's had to get a bit of a lead, really, to take over her lane.
She really has. This makes 2 dominating Nidalee games and 2 lackluster Nidalee games. We've seen in the North American LCS. Seraph falling behind a little bit. Gets a little bit manhandled by Ackerman. And now just trying to farm up enough to become a split push threat. They're really using him as just the lane janitor at this point. Clean up the side lane so CLG can group up as 4.
And they are grouped, trying to make something happen. Squeeze a mistake out of LMQ, if that's even possible right now. Going to slide through the wall. Whee! He'll be safe.
Yeah, CLG hasn't seen him yet. So Ackerman's got to be a little bit sneaky.
I wonder how fast he can take an inhibitor down. And then this is going to help if anybody even wants to trade with him. He's just going to headbutt you and walk away.
It won't be excessively fast. Inhibitors do have 4,000 health. So he's not the fastest inhibitor taker. He's just pretty good at it. Tristana could obviously do it much quicker.
What a dark map. So much patience. Nobody can see a thing right now. They're just like, yeah, we'll take some small camps.
Well, think about how much map movement has been going on from the foot of CLG's base to the foot of LMQ's base with a Baron in between. setting up wards in that world is actually quite difficult.
Yeah, need a buddy system for sure.
It's just a matter of time. They just haven't had the physical time to walk to places they need warded.
Xiao's calling this one out.
This could be a spectacular catch, but more just noticed it. There was the ward right there. Afro realizes they must have seen me coming. They would have put it here.
Oh man, if LMQ can make it to structures, double Lich Bane now, they're going to be crushing down.
Here we go again. Here we go again. CLG at the Baron pit. It's up in 14 seconds. But they have 3 exposed inhibitors, so LMQ has a huge positional edge here. They have many more cards in their hand to play with.
The only thing in CLG's favor is that all these lanes are not pushed.
And the fact that they got a quadra kill last time they actually had a heads-up team fight. But this time, Vasily has a Banshee's Veil. So it is way harder to catch him out.
Mikhail's for help on the side of Moore. Fast fingers have already been on the exhaust, so he's not going to be missing that Mikhail's for Vasily. Xiao and Ackerman both rocking Lich Bane, Rabadons, and the Zanyas. Huge power coming out of them. Not even really being able to get mitigated just yet. A few Banshee's Veils and the Spectral Cowl for a bit of safety. CLG now tries their hand at trying to dictate the push. Where are you going, Xiao?
Where are you going,
Xiao? He's doing some structure damage. No, he's coming back home.
CLG making a real aggressive move, as usual, against LMQ. But that opens them up to a lot of vulnerabilities. Will Xiao come in? Will they go for the open inhibitors? And what can CLG do about it?
Xiao realizes he walked over a ward, so he's trying to take the long way out.
They want to jump. They were expecting LMQ to be closer. What's coming? There it is!
It's more. Will he be able to get this? They don't even need the shockwave.
Nice.
What a hold! Great.
Oh my God! And TF ported. If TF didn't port there, oh my gosh, they would have been screwed.
Huge amount of control to go on to this next fight with.
It is just the support, though, remember. Xiao still up with full damage. No Destiny this time, though. Huge wave in the top lane that CLG does have to manage before they
too hard for me to make.
That is going to be coming in the bottom lane, too, Jat. Those are 2.5 stacked up waves, almost 3 to 4 full. And this is going to be a desperation move. CLG is actually calling it off, and they're going to head back to the base. Smart move.
The catch was great. It gave them a little bit of map control. It meant that LMQ could not play a game of chicken with CLG around the Baron pit. Also, the ultimate cooldown from
Link.
Rengar.
What are you doing?
60 seconds, but Link gets caught!
No way. This could not happen right now for Counter Logic Gaming. They can still hold it. Link was a big factor here. The last shot's not going to take down Alframu. They get out a lot of summoners there that could be big for LMQ. They're going for Baron, and that may just be the biggest aspect of that fight.
Yeah, that was just CLG's mistake right there.
Should have just let Afro
exactly
check.
How it happened again, just because a catch
Afro
like that
has the ability to run away.
He is all off in his own. Ackerman gives a nice flash body slam, but there was just Ackerman soloing him right there. Even in the 4v5, because Seraph was back, it was a 4v4 and the initiation happened. Ackerman needs to be leading the way in that charge.
Very sore position for CLG to be in here. Could be a final push from LMQ.
3 exposed inhibitors with the Baron buff, and Link isn't alive. When Link comes up, they're going to have to try the combo, but it's a telegraph combo. LMQ should know exactly where it's coming from, and they might just run away before it happens.
They already have pink wards down to make sure it's not a home guard Rengar coming out. They're going to be backing off already.
Right, yeah, TF ult, actually, to make sure Dexter wasn't coming in from behind them right there.
Very nicely played. CLG trying to make some moves. Dexter still with his ult up, and all of the ults except for Alpha moves right now. That one's coming off a cooldown, and CLG will have their last attempt as LMQ continues to pepper the front side of the base. Mid inhib, they get taken down. Still working on the rest.
But the fact that they didn't get 2 means CLG can continue to farm. Doublet has a huge amount of damage right now. If we compare him with Vasily, the CS is just off the charts. Not a great game for Vasily. Getting caught out a little bit. The fact that it's been a very rotational focused game. Xiao clears the wave before Vasily can get his mitts on it, so he just hasn't been able to get the free lane CS. Whereas Doublelift, since CLG has been on their back foot so much, has many a wave to clear. So 4 big time damage items on Doublelift. And Vasily actually just now completing his last Whisper on his last back to base.
Slowly but surely, LMQ again depletes all the resources on the map, soaking up more win for themselves. It's just about the goal they've had all game after they got that Baron ace onto CLG. Very interesting, or I should say kudos to CLG for holding off after having that fight lost.
Whoa,
Simple.
He burnt everything. Flash
everything.
and ultimate. So now Dexter can't create a counterattack. He was safe just from the flash.
Talisman of Ascension, burning both of those. You can see the fear that LMQ has now put into CLG coming into this game. Good block out with Unbreakable. It looks like they are going to be able to drop the inhibitor. Vasily 17, almost max range Triss, can't be touched on the back line.
CLG needed that Rengar ultimate to be able to defend that inhibitor. Once the threat was gone, it meant LMQ was fearless. They're going to cycle for the third now, knowing it is still down. Slow and steady after making a couple missteps here, LMQ trying to finish what they started 15 minutes ago.
Slowly but surely winning the race all game for LMQ. 42 minutes on the clock, almost level 18 across the board, and the amount of poke that they have, CLG is trying to lay that out. They haven't been able to execute it on the offense at all. It's all been defensive poke, and that just means the Ackerman has been jumping into their face. We haven't seen too many initiations from Xiao with the Zanyas, but it's not really something they've had to do. That'll show you LMQ's control all game. They're walking up to these fights and getting what they want.
Well, 35% cooldown reduction on Rengar means Thrill of the Hunt is back up for Dexter. This is their last chance. They have to go now.
Soon, almost going for broke on that. We see No Name getting caught in the backside.
Oh, no.
Dexter gets kicked out. He will not be able to zero anybody out from that position. Vasily gets caught up, but he's on the backside now after the rocket jump. Going right through the middle. Doublelift scores a point in the uprights. The wild card's just missing. Aframu gets locked in. The heals come out. The reset for Vasily isn't enough to continue in range. And there's the Zanya's play coming from Xiao. He goes down valiantly so the team can continue pursuit. Doublelift, wait a minute. He can clean this up. Doublelift's going for another triple kill in the game. It's only going to save more for so long. He is going to drop the Baron off of that. Another quadra kill. Make that 2 for Doublelift in one game, and CLG is still breathing.
With 3 inhibitors down, Doublelift picks up another quadra kill, mind you. This minion game in itself is actually going to be pretty difficult for Doublelift to be able to clear out, but holy crap, Riv. The game will go on. This is the highest action 42-minute game I've seen in a while. That fight, though. All right, so it was the absolute last chance for CLG to go in. And at this point, because of the Banshee's Veil, Vasily could react immediately, and you could tell they had their eyes on Rengar.
That was the best Dexter could do,
the shockwave was still up. And that's something that Vasily had forgotten about a little bit. A great catch there by Link to get enough damage down. And then honestly, just poor target selection right here by LMQ. Doublelift is so low, and he's the only one that can defend against this many people. So when Xiao comes in here, throw the card at Doublelift, and they win the game. But he decides to finish off the Ori instead. Doublelift stays alive. Vasily jumps far too far in, just trying to pick up kills because they thought they'd won the game. Wow. And then Doublelift is able to just clean up because poor target selection and a little bit of showmanship, honestly, from LMQ stops him from ending the game right away. 2 quadra kills in the same game for Doublelift.
This is getting pretty crazy. I'm sure Doublelift absolutely feels like he can carry this game now.
If they can hold off for their 3 inhibitors to come up again, we're back where we started.
This is the time where you hear all of CLG, even the coaches say, you know, when the game gets to it, we kind of just let Doublelift do his thing. And that was Doublelift doing his thing right there. LMQ
this game is so dumb. This game is so dumb.
2 quadra kills now, 11 4-4 as he picks up the Mercurial, helping himself stay safe within the game.
Fight.
And now he can keep himself even safer with double cleanse.
And Riv, to pull it back to what's happening right now, lane management is the name of the game. CLG needs the side lanes pushed out at least for until the next wave arrives in order to pull off an initiation. Because if CLG initiates with the waves not managed, they will lose their Nexus turrets. So they have to somehow do that while holding this middle turret so Dexter can get off his ultimate. But LMQ is not giving them a window.
Doublelift has top priority. Seraph has bottom priority. They will lose mid inhib here. A few more shots coming in. They're doing a great job at actually holding it off, but it's only a matter of time. Forward movement. They do hold it. Very nicely played.
Go for it. Go for it.
Wait a minute.
No!
More goes so low. This is going to be very big. Doublelift on the outside.
Fuck, if you just waited for the shockwave.
He's down now. It's going to be huge plays. Doublelift.
Fuck! That shockwave, dude. Just wait.
LMQ is bleeding as they step into the base of CLG.
Xiao pulls the card onto Doublelift and ends up finishing off the game. But boy, did LMQ make it work. CLG make it
We
work
didn't
for it
deserve
right
to win
there.
this game.
Will be the push to end the
We
game.
did not
Double
deserve to
attack,
win
double
this game at all.
cleanse, and the damage came so fast he wasn't even able to use it. A dissonance to drop Xiao Zhao here. Puts it on, almost lives, gets the last hit, but he's got to focus the Nexus. That's where LMQ is.
Too many mistakes
outside.
this game.
A half-health Nexus, Link goes down, Seraph could end Vasily, gets the Banshees fail, gets Ackerman, no! Ackerman with the Lich Bane, puts down the strength, and he is gonna lock down the game for the team from top lane and in the base of CLG. LMQ drops CLG.